Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, ladies. It's, ladies only today. Well, like most times anyway. But I'm happy to see you. So let's give ourselves a little stretch before we start, like we usually do, and allow yourself to really feel into the stretch. Just feeling the sensations in your body as you're moving it and stretching it. And then once you feel nice and comfortable where you are sitting, first bring your awareness to where you are right now, the room that you are in, and where you are sitting in relation to the rest of your environment, the rest of the room. And then paying attention to the weight of your body where you are sitting. And then paying attention to the weight of your feet on the ground. Feeling that connection with the earth, gravity holding us in place at the surface of this planet. And now let's bring our attention back a little bit higher up in our bodies. And so bring your focus in the area of your chest and in the middle of your chest into your heart. And in order to connect with the heart, you may tune in, and maybe you might feel or hear the sensations of your heartbeats in your chest. And just imagine as if all of the energy that was possibly in your head before is just slipping down and falling right into your heart. All your attention, all your focus is into the heart. And now let's breathe a little slower and deeper than usual. And as you do that, just visualize as if your breath is flowing in and out directly through your heart. Slightly deeper and slower breath that you can visualize entering your heart on the inhale and exiting your heart on the exhale. And this is called heart-centered breathing. And we're going to do that together for another 1 to 2 minutes. So in silence, and I'll let you know when we're ready for the next step. Okay, a few more deep cycles of breath. And you might notice a sensation of calm that has come over you. This is normal. This is the whole idea of this centered breath. And in that more calm and quiet space that we are now in, our next step is to remind ourselves of the vision that we have for our future. So maybe you're very clear on the vision that you have for your life, where you want to head. And if your whole lifespan seems a little bit too much or too abstract, just remind yourself of some shorter term goals that you're working towards. But just give yourself a sense of the direction that you at least want or intend to have right now for the future. Okay. And now we're going to turn to the past a little bit and imagining as if we're physically turning around and facing the recent past. Let's just imagine that we are elevating ourselves above that timeline of ours, so that we can have a bird's eye view on the week that has just passed. And so that we can have a review of it in the most objective way possible, as if by elevating ourselves, we are detaching ourselves from the emotionality, maybe, of what may have happened. And so from that elevated place, let's review the events from last week and get a sense of what did work very well and what did not work as well as you hoped for. And looking at different areas of your life, from your work to your personal life with your health, your relationships, your passions, what do you do for fun, any area of your life that is important to you. Just have a look and notice, what is it that seems to be working well, and what is it that might need a little tweaking or changing. So have a review. In the things that work well, you might think of them as things, events, results, relationships that you want more of in your life, that are bringing joy, contributing to your whole experience. Things that you want to maintain and nurture in the future. And the things that don't work as well, think about them as not bad things, but things that you would rather tweak or change or let go of. Things that may have been useful in the past, but not anymore. Things that you've outgrown. So just have a blameless, non-judgmental, neutral review. Last week, since the last time we had our session, what happened? What happened? Who happened to, maybe? Which relationships? Which synchronicities, possibilities? And maybe think about yourself as well, in a sense of which versions of yourself seem to be working well or not so well. Versions of yourself such as the ways of being that you would be displaying. So just notice. Have a little triage, virtual triage in your own mind space. Want more of, want less of. And also notice in your contemplation, take care to detach outcomes from the journeys that lead to the outcomes. Sometimes the results work or they don't, but sometimes the process that got us there did or didn't bring us joy or wasn't very much of a flow. So maybe a joyful flowing process, somehow the result didn't work out. So it doesn't mean that you need to discard, that you should discard all of it as not working. And maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you got the outcome that you wanted, but the process to get there was so painful. So just notice, because ideally we'd like both. That when you're in the flow, the processes work and the outcome works as well. So maybe sometimes an outcome that doesn't manifest itself can be a blessing in disguise. So notice maybe there might be some of that going on as well in your life. And now, slowly but surely, you're building up a, a picture of last week. And so let's ask ourselves this simple question. If a version of last week was to repeat itself into the future, if nothing is changing and last week keeps rolling into the future over and over, do you have a sense that this already brings you on the right track to your vision? Or is the trajectory somewhat a little bit skewed? So here, just notice it doesn't need to be precise, but you'll get a sense whether you seem to be aligned already to hit your goals or hit your vision. And if not, no problem. Just welcome this sensation, this information as valuable, and we are going to work on course correcting starting now. So taking a deep breath, let's get ready for our next step. Inviting our imagination to come and play for a moment. And now we are going to craft the best possible version of the week that is starting today. To do that, my suggestion is to start with reimagining yourself and imagining yourself at your very best, the very best that you like, you enjoy to function at. So it can be that you're full of energy, you're excited, motivated, you're feeling passionate. It can be that you see things very clearly, that you're making decisions with ease, that you're taking action effortlessly, and that somehow you're feeling in flow. That famous expression, being in the flow. So it feels like from the inside out, you are in the best energy possible to start the week. So when you function at your best, then just start to imagine what happens. What are you making possible in your life when you're in that frame of mind, when you're in that energy? So imagine all the things that you're creating, the things that you're making happen, the decisions that you make, the conversations that you have, the connections that you're creating with other people. How does all of that look like, sounds like, and feels like? It sounds like laughter because it feels like a lot of fun. Maybe it feels like ease. Maybe it feels like passion. Maybe it feels more like serenity, calm, being and feeling resolute. Maybe it feels like efficacy, productivity. Maybe it feels like a combination of all of those. And what do you see created as a result? Maybe there are loads of, maybe you see your to-do lists melting away. Maybe it means that your to-do lists are totally reinvented and you're bringing your attention and your focus in very different ways into different areas of your life. Maybe you're reprioritizing different things. And as you imagine the best possible outcomes, of course, we know that not everything is in our direct control. So allow your imagination to also imagine how what's not in your control is also turning out. And as a result of you being in such a positive flow, imagine the best possible scenarios for what comes back to you. Maybe connections, people responding in positive ways, maybe situations getting solved, disentangled, clarified, maybe projects suddenly getting unstuck. Maybe decisions that you were relying upon are being made from other people in everyone's best interest. And again, what does the week sounds like and feels like and looks like when that happens? So allow your imagination to do the imagining. And in your imagination, what doors are opening up as a result of the flow that you generated. And then let's push your imagination even further. Let's imagine the unexpected things that you didn't know were even on the on the horizon, surprises, like totally random new possibilities, opportunities showing up in your experience. What could they be? And again, what does that look like, feels like, sounds like? So just imagining the unexpected. Also being aware that as unexpected as it might be, make no mistakes that this is also a result of the flow that you've generated, the universe responding to the flow of positive generosity that you're embodying. And allow your imagination to come up with the most unexpected pleasant ideas. Allow your own imagination to even surprise you. Hmm. And then let's set a little intention now regarding our imagination. So far, we've asked your imagination to imagine, but you can only do that based on your current paradigm. So what if there are a lot of other possibilities that are still out of reach for your current imagination capabilities? So let's set that intention that when some of those possibilities that you're not able to imagine yet show up in your life experience, set that intention that yes, you will recognize them for what they are, even if they look widely unfamiliar, and you will accept, welcome them, receive them into your life. And of course, those possibilities might look very different from what we are used to. So make yourself aware and make that decision now that when they show up, you'll be ready and you'll still say yes. And once we've done that, now I'm gonna ask you, invite you to notice, bring your awareness to how you are feeling. How you are feeling in this new version of the week. Remembering that your mind cannot really tell the difference between real and imagined. So right now, this is all very real. And how do you feel? How does that make you feel? How does your body react to these best scenarios? And we're going to make these sensations more powerful so that we can feel them with more intensity and we can broadcast them around us with more power. So tune in again, just notice, how do you feel? Maybe Maybe these are feelings that are very familiar that you can name. Maybe it's more subtle, you don't quite know, but you definitely feel that within yourself. Your body feels it. So in any case, now I'm going to invite you to imagine again as if every time you breathe in, these sensations somehow get funneled into your body through your heart. Every time you breathe in, it's as if these sensations are bubbling into your awareness and flooding your body, entering your body through your heart. And you can feel them with more intensity, with more vibrancy. Every time you breathe in, these sensations become more and more potent inside of yourself. Every time you breathe in, it's like you're getting flooded with more and more of these sensations. And it's as if they're filling up your tank. Your body gets completely saturated with them. Every part of your body, every cell in your body is now resonating and vibrating to the tune of these feelings, these sensations. You're turning yourself into a tuning fork. And now that your tank is full, that your whole body is vibrating to the tune of these sensations and these feelings, I'm going to invite you now to imagine and visualize and feel that on each exhale, these feelings, these sensations are now radiating out from your heart into the space in front of you. Every time you breathe out, you can see, feel, visualize that these sensations are oozing out from your heart into the field, the space around you and in front of you, but especially in front of you. It's as if your heart is holding a flashlight, and that flashlight is radiating the light of these sensations into the space in front of you. Every time you breathe in and out, you're just noticing that every time you breathe in, the sensations keep flowing into you with more strength. And every time you breathe out, they keep radiating out in front of you with more intensity. It's like there's no end to them. They're self-regenerating. Every time you breathe in and out, they're getting stronger and stronger, both flowing inside your body and radiating out from your heart. And with each cycle of breath, they become so strong that now you're starting to notice this light coming out from your heart has gone so powerful that it's like a laser beam. And that laser beam is literally carving out a portal right in front of you. So now you can see as if an opening has been created in the space in front of you. And you know that it's not open just in space, but also it's an opening in time. You've just created a portal in time and space that opens up into the new version of your timeline, the new version of this week, the new version of the reality of the week. And now we're preparing ourselves to step into that new timeline. So just imagine that in your mind's eyes, you are walking towards the portal, taking one step in and then two steps in. And that's it. You're now standing on the other side of this portal. And you know that just as you stepped in, as if the door closed behind you, now the timeline for the past has just dissolved. There is no turning back. Your mind, your body is fully present to a new version of time, a new version of space, a new version of reality. And so in that newness, let's take a few moments to appreciate it and notice how we are opening up and connecting with all of these new possibilities. With these timelines come all of the opportunities and synchronicities, connections, possibilities that you've imagined. All of these possibilities exist in that new reality, and you're now connecting with them. So I'm going to invite you to take a few more deliberate, conscious breaths. Feeling your whole body, your whole system becoming fully connected with these new possibilities. As if you're making yourself at home. Making yourself at home in this new timeline. So knowing that you're in a new version of time and space now, just pay attention to your own body. How does it feel? Maybe you're feeling some tingling, some vibrating. As you're getting connected with this new energy. If you're a visual person, maybe you're seeing, visualizing things in your environment. Maybe they look different. Maybe the colors look different. Maybe if you're an auditory person, you hear things. Maybe you hear voices. Maybe you hear words, messages. Maybe the sounds are different. Maybe the different tones are different rhythms somehow. And maybe if you're a tactile person, maybe just imagine or actually physically touch something now in your environment and pay attention. How does it feel? Feeling the texture, temperature, knowing that you're just touching the new version of this object. Mm. Okay, and now that you've really connected with this new version of the week, we're going to anchor these sensations so that we know that at any time when we need it during the week, all we need to do is activate this anchor so that our mind and our bodies instantly remember, instantly activate this connection with this particular timeline that we're in now. And to do that, I'm going to invite you to touch your thumb and index finger from your right hand, and then touch your thumb and index finger on your left hand. And just pressing slightly, varying the pressure between your fingers until you're finding a point of equilibrium, of equal pressure on both sides, both your right hand and your left hand between your fingers is the exact same pressure, a point of equilibrium where your mind is 100% in the present and in its under percent in its 100% presence. Your mind is now fully committed to this new version of reality, because your mind has now completely let go of the past. It can no longer use the past to project into the future. It can only now be connected with the present fully and start creating from that place. So in this moment of full presence, your mind is free, absolutely free, to write down from a blank page. So you can release your anchor for a moment. And if you want to, just reapply it again, bringing your thumbs and index fingers together again, finding that point of perfect pressure, equal pressure on both hands. Giving yourself another sensation of pure presence, your mind surrendered. Okay, so now I'm going to invite you to set that intention that at any time during the week you will use this anchor to stay on track. Every time you feel yourself drifting or feeling any unpleasant sensations or stress, just remember to apply your anchor to bring yourself back to this space of possibilities, to bring yourself back on track onto this version of reality that you are creating for yourself. Okay, and once you've done that, it's now time to bring ourselves back to the here and now, to the new here and now. So you can rub your hands together until they're warm. Bring them at the top of your head. And from the top of your head, just touch every part of your body, from head to toe, as if you're touching your body to remind yourself of the boundaries of your physical body. So from head down to neck, shoulders, and arms. And then your face and the front of your body, your torso, your abdomen, the sides of your body, your rib cage, down to your hips, your back as much as you can. And then from your hips down to your thighs and your knees and your legs. And if you can, all the way down to your feet. And in case you cannot touch your feet, I suggest you just press your feet into the ground again with the intention to ground yourself into the earth one more time. And to finish off, maybe just sending a wave of appreciation to the earth itself for allowing our existence onto this plane. And one more deep breath before opening your eyes when you're ready, giving yourself another stretch. Basically getting yourself ready for the day and ready for the rest of the week. And thank you so much for joining me today. And until next week, have a great time. Look after yourselves. Use your anchors. Have fun. Go create some amazing stuff. And I'll see you next Monday. Love you, everybody.